already, and I think it's because you're lit. So if we could possibly, like me and not them, if there's a lighting man here, because I think the people feel I'm going to be judgy with them because they're lit. Like sometimes audiences are lit, like in Judge Judy, or that horrible man in the morning who makes people have pregnancy tests. So you're lit, and I can sense there's a pleasure, and you're holding back because I finished a perfectly fucking good poem there, and you stared at me like you were hamsters looking at a Game Boy. So I don't know if there's possibly not a lighting man, and I'm not fucking J-Lo. I'm not saying, but I think maybe you feel a little exposed because the lights are on you, and I can see your lovely faces. Is it happy? That's very kind, thank you so much. The Jam House here, by the way, I'd like to thank them for letting us have these gigs here this afternoon. And in fact, every day during the Fringe, these free Fringe events, it's very lovely that we're going to take the light down on you and bring it up on me, because I am fucking easy on the eye. And there may be some, I don't know, 1980s George Michael fans in with poor eyesight who might be squinting and fantasising. So we'll have another go. I'm not going to read that one out again because you obviously didn't like it. Didn't go at all well. I finished it. I made it physically quite apparent. I finished the poem by doing this. And fucking applause, there was none. But that's not saying I need it, but you know what? You're not paying, so you could fucking clap. Yes. Your chippy Scottish sarcasm notwithstanding. I said dim them, not fucking turn it into Abu Ghraib. Happy, there we are. Now it's sexy. I am loving that. Where's that been all week? I apologise if I start masturbating mid-show, but you look hot. Christ. Here we go. Why William Blake only wrote one poem about tigers. That is the title of the next poem. There's very little poetry composed about the tiger, which doesn't at some juncture mention climbing up the Eiger. Or for no apparent reason, the Swiss artist H.R. Geiger, tucking into sandwiches of sauerkraut and brown Schweiger. That is a kind of sausage, sir. He looked puzzled. He deserves to enjoy the poem as well. The reason is that tiger is quite troublesome to rhyme, so tiger poets tend to use the same words all the time. Another problem facing tiger poetry in general, they are mostly orange. Now you understand. Now you're getting it. So, did anyone here this year? I know that the Stone Roses reformed and they played Glasgow Green. Did anyone go and see the Roses at Glasgow Green? Yeah? Are they all right? Are they good? Yeah? Did you see him, the person there who is now twice gone, yee, which is nice, and that's participating, but I might need a little more from you. Did you see him first time round, like when they were in the early days, or was this your chance to finally catch up and see what all the fuss was about? You were catching up, yeah. Okay, understandable. There's a lot. So what I'm fascinated by with these bands that get back together is that they make an effort to try and stay in shape and keep their hair and what have you in their way. Ian Brown still sort of looks like Ian Brown, just older and a bit baggier. But their fans have not taken such care. And basically, the fans of all of those, it's like, I go to a lot of Paul Weller gigs, and his fucking audience, they're in poor shape, but still dressed as mods, which is weird, because a fucking crowbar into Fred Perry's and stay pressed, they're just, still got it. But a mate of mine went to the Stone Roses gig, and he said their audience was so fat and bald that he said it was like watching a Stone Roses DVD across 40 acres of bubble wrap. What a lovely image that is, Hey, I've still got it. And that massive denial that people have when they go back and see bands they used to see when they were kids. I went to see Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros at the Shepherd's Bush Empire once. And Strummer was very, very aware of the frailties of his crowd. And the way that he addressed this was by never playing two fast ones back to back, for fear of killing them. Seriously, it's like, if you played White Riot and gone straight into London Calling, there would have been coronaries. It's like, no, fuck off, something slow, reggae, for fuck's sake. No. But yeah, the Paul Weller gig, I went to a Paul Weller gig and I saw an awful lot of the chaps that I've written this poem about. I'm quite fond of them. I love the denial. I love that's something that you loved as a kid and you think, I'm going to go again. They've reformed or whatever, and you go and see them. And you like try and dig out an old t-shirt and you're just desperately trying to cling on to your childhood. I love that desperation. That's what I love about people. Massive denial. It's great. So this is called The Fat Mods. Shuffling hush puppy, whiplash and foxtail, iconic in tonic, they cut quite the dash. The scooter's suspension requires some attention in lay-bys, they fix them while still looking flash. The fat mods are speeding for Ventnor and Yarmouth in 4-button two-piece resplendently done, portly yet eloquent on Northern Soul. Elegant, their knowledge of Blue Beat is second to none. On B roads and A roads, you pull in beside them. Their parkers are bursting with more than the breeze. Checkerboard mud flaps are scraping the tarmac. Their Gola bags groaning with Motown and cheese. The fat mods pull over for roadside refreshment. No longer the hunger to do Purple Hearts. Their stay pressed to straining, and up at the counter, it's double espresso, but 3 Bakewell tarts. Bulks, no impediment to raucous carousing, so fat mods they party, just like 65. They burst through the door and they're stout on the floor, blood pressure peaking, but more than alive. So hold hard your prejudice, stow your disdain. These end-of-peer endomorphs take every chance. Cast aside caution and double your portions and live like a fat mod till death do us dance. Thank you very much. Cheers. I normally do this one later in the set, but I'm going to chuck it in early tonight, as I can do what I like. I wrote the fuckers, I put them in any order I want. I'm willful like that. I don't much care for Jeremy Clarkson. And it's quite irrational, you know what I mean? It's just like, and then I thought about it, no, he's a hateful twat. I look at him and my overriding thought whenever I see him on the telly is, there's a dude breathing air somebody else could use. Really don't like him. Don't know why, it's quite irrational. I think it's because he's so hate-filled and his attitudes are drawn from the 1970s and he's arrogant. And his hair, and his fucking stupid clothes, and that sport jacket jeans thing. He's a twat. That's what it is. I wish that I'd pay the people at the Oxford English Dictionary in the definition of twat, to not have a picture of Jeremy Clarkson there. And then when you look, and then I say, why isn't there a picture of Jeremy Clarkson? And they say, because he's a twat. And yeah, I don't know what it is about him. I fantasise about his death quite a lot, which is wrong of me because, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's justified. It's right. I'm a right-thinking man. I'm a good person. He should die. So, and it's what it is. What is it? Can't narrow it down. The death that I want him to have is I want him to be run over by a smart car. Driven by cyclists. Lesbian cyclists. Vegetarian, lesbian cyclists driving a smart car. Run him over, kill him. It's that, or shot in the face with his own shit till he suffocates. They're the two that I toy with the most. Every day I open my newspaper and I shut my eyes and I cross my fingers and I go, come on, obituary column. I think we've established I don't care for the man. So, here's a poem. It's called Jeremy Carfucker. There is some sexual content. I'm doing it now because I've realised that after me, Young and Strange, the magicians come on, who are brilliant, good lads. But they have a lot of children at their show, and I've been finishing my set with this. And when you hear it, I'd like you to imagine this poem being done with about 30 really bemused-looking 6-year-olds at the back of the room. Their horrified parents. But I like to think I'm just fast-tracking their education. You have to imagine the 6-year-olds, and I read this one out. Here we go. Listen one, listen all, while I tell of a scandal so vile that upon it you won't get a handle. At both ends you'll find yourself burning the candle as you ponder the sins of this old-fashioned vandal. Jeremy Clarkson has been up to some larkson. They finally call Jeremy fucking a car. The first sign that he was in this way perverted was at a Ford dealership when he first flirted, and all over an Escort, young Jeremy squirted. XR3i owners were all alerted. Jeremy Clarkson is quick off the mark, son. They finally caught Jeremy fucking a car. Hammond and May, both so spineless and vacant, feared Jeremy's lustfulness, savage and blatant. His car-based perversion was deeper than latent. On piston-shaped condoms, he took out a patent. Jeremy Clarkson came out of the dark, son. They finally caught Jeremy fucking a car. Had he been found out, it might not have got worse. His auto-erotic kink grimly perverse. The need to shag motors became such a curse. At a funeral he snapped and back scuttled the hearse. Jeremy Clarkson in a graveyard car park, son. They finally caught Jeremy fucking a car. Masturbating on toy cars, you might think it rum, but it takes only 4 strokes for Clarkson to come. Now, sir, that is excellent because it works on 2 levels. A 4-stroke is a kind of internal combustion engine, but also... That is excellent. I took the day off after I wrote that couplet. However, I feel that the next couplet lets me down something. Compulsively, he does some other things dumb, like shoving hood ornaments right up his bum, you see? No. Jeremy Clarkson, life choice is quite stark, son. They finally caught Jeremy fucking a car. The bitter end came to poor Jeremy's marriage. His poor wife, she wandered out into the garage to find her mad husband with his undercarriage, as far up a Volvo sump as he could manage. Jeremy Clarkson, all Sweden will hark, son. They finally caught Jeremy fucking a car. After a fag had a shag with a jag, hot genitals forced sorely up its exhaust. In his sleep he was peeped, knackers deep, in a jeep, his diminutive cock wedged tight in the lock. Subsequently, his organ was rammed in a morgan. Jeremy Clarkson with insanity bark, son! They finally caught Jeremy fucking a car. Then one day, a hybrid. He stayed open-minded and with emotions eclectic, like Dylan went electric. And popped his wee penis right into a Prius. Now Clarkson's less mean, because he loves something green. No longer the weasel who hates biodiesel, and if he can keep it up, he will go far. They finally caught Jeremy in a nice car. One of the lovely things